What is up, you guys? It's your boy DJ Leo back again with another tutorial, and today I'm gonna talk about 5 things that you should know as a producer that will help you out in each and every day process of your music making. Let's dive into it.
First thing, you should always keep your work in order. Keep your files in order. So that helps you to not guess yourself where you kept what. You already know you have a folder that says sessions or whatever. For me, I have folders everywhere. I even have parts of my hard drive saying strictly sessions. So I know if I'm looking for a session, I saved it there. And on top of that, I know my beats folder. I saved it beats, my beat folder, and I go there. For example, you just have to go ahead and say new project. When you do new project, make sure you go ahead and create a folder separate for that project. Like you can see here, I have a folder here that says example beat plug, and I have a lot of beats there, and I can come here and say make new folder, right? Yeah, and name it a beat that you're making or that session you're recording at that time. It'll save you time to look for it when, say, you want to mix it or what, or maybe your client want to have the session and take it to another studio. You don't have any audios missing or any files missing, because all the files for that project are saved in that same folder. But first, you have to create that folder, and then everything will be saved in there. Now, that's one thing. Get organized. So here, you just type say hip hop, say hip hop beat. Save something that you would remember, hip hop beat, or Frankie, maybe Frankie, right? You put it, you say, okay, right? Whatever, yeah, Frankie there. I say Frankie as well there. Then I create. Then when I save here, this thing will go to the folder that you created. You can see here is Frankie. Then it's easy for you to say Frankie, right? Then everything you record here or any beat you put here, it will be in that folder. So when you need to move that file or share, you just have to move that folder. Number 2, metronome. Well, you cannot do without metronome. When I started beats, I didn't know about metronome. I was just making it. It was a mess. But metronome is this. Now, as stupid as that sounds, it's very essential, because you cannot do that's your whole timing there. Whether you're making especially a beat, that's your whole timing. You want to put that in place so you make sure you're hitting on the right place when making that beat, and that is essential. You cannot do without, right? That's number 2. We're going to number 3. Number 3 is going to be tempo. Tempo is very important in the whole thing, because that's your speed, that's your everything. A tempo goes hand in hand with your metronome, right? You change the tempo, your metronome also changes, and those 2 things, they're very essential. A tempo, however, you have to know it even if you didn't make the beat, right? Before you even start recording, you create that folder, right? Create that folder, and then once your folder is created, make sure you type in your tempo. From here in Cubase, I'll just go to tempo track, right? And then you click here, and then you type your tempo. You find out the tempo of the beat, and then type it. You say 90. It's very essential, because like I said in the other previous tutorial about sends, things like delay and reverbs, they sort of like work better when you put that tempo in. So it doesn't matter whether the beat is made somewhere else. As soon as you go ahead and punch in the tempo, it's gonna reflect on your plugins, and that's gonna suit you better, and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna wish you have known this earlier. And another thing that helps with the tempo is when you're moving your hooks, like your chorus or parts of the song, and whatever you want to replace, what words you want to put, they just move in sync. Once you select bar here or beats or what, it moves in the right timing. You don't have to zoom in and whatever, waste time trying to figure out where the exact place is. I've been there, but I'm telling you, you need the tempo. You need the tempo. That will make it easier. The fourth thing I'm going to talk about here is the buffer. The buffer is very important as well, because the lower you go, the faster you can transmit things. The higher you go, the slower things will project in your session. This is what I mean. If you go here, like here, I'm using AFL Studio as your, right? I go to control panel, I find this buffer. So the lower I go here to 256, right? When I record, say, maybe my artists want to hear themselves via my DAW, not my sound card. They want to hear themselves maybe with a little bit reverb and auto-tune, so that they can, perform better in the session. This is what you want to do. You want to go lower on the buffer size, so when they speak, immediately it transmit into their ears through your DAW. But when you go higher, you notice the voice will be coming slower to their ears, so it will sort of like confuse them. So that's one trick that I use when I'm recording. It's put the buffer size as the lowest I can get, so when I record, I put a auto tune there and a little bit reverb for a nicer performance, right? Even when I'm making beats, I put it to the raw side, say 256. I start from there. And if you get plugins that are very powerful, you might want to go maybe to 512. But then you will notice once you start playing your piano, it's not really fully in sync, because sometimes you do record quantize, and then when you play, it still doesn't quantize nicely. But when you go lower, I bet it does quantize as fast as it can. So that is about buffer size, and that is very important. Is very important. Now, the last thing I would share here is input level. Now, I noticed some of the guys, they're pushing too much of the knob, the input knob, but they don't know that they're clipping, because at that time the beat is sounding higher. They loaded the beat in the session, and then the beat is sounding higher. Now they want to raise the beat and then make their voice sound more sitting in the session. So what they do, they go ahead and push up the knob, the input knob. Well, that won't work for you. That will only do clipping, and you might not hear it at that time. But start putting effects on it, start putting compressors on it. That's when you know you messed up the whole recording vocal. So what I do here, for me, I go to the mixer here. You can see there's this stereo input here. What I like to do is just drop it a little bit. All right, I drop that, and mostly I go to my audio interface and I make sure I don't go more than half. But it also depends with the mic, how it's picking, how it was made. But for me, I always record somewhere about close to half. It's less than half. It's not more than half. I've never recorded in more than half. I used to do that, but I noticed that dramatic thing in my vocals. So that's why I'm telling you that it's very important. So drop it about less than half. Figure out where the voice is. And another trick you can use is just drop your instrumental a little bit, maybe to half the fader, so you have more room for your voices to sound better, instead of pushing the input gain up that will just damage your voice, right? All right, there you have it. Those are the 5 things I really think you as a producer should know. And try it. Try it. It's going to change your whole workflow. It's going to change your whole work style. And until next time, stay blessed.